I think the most important things I've learned about the cut serve are that it legitimately like does take time, even just with throwing. Like I, in the beginning, thought like I could throw for 30 minutes and then start hitting lightly and then starting hard. Like that doesn't work. At least not for me. The second thing is that the cut serve, like as I was watching videos, it's a process to get it, not just to get it, but to get it better. Like some guy was talking about how like it improved over like 6 months for him, or like a year. Like even though I sort of have it now, and like when you guys get it, like you have it, but it'll keep getting better. So it's not like it's like, oh, you have it and then like you can cut and it's like a great cut. Okay, so as for how to do it, I think there's like two reasons we haven't been able to get so far that I can think of. I'll explain how to do it first, and then I'll explain I'll explain why we haven't gotten it first. Sorry. So I think the reason we haven't gotten it is because we've been trying to emulate the videos in terms of how it looks. And in the videos, it looks like they're coming around and then going over. So like from this angle, it looks like they're going like that and then like that, right? To get this type of spin. And this is the type of spin you want. You don't want spinning like this, because that doesn't do anything. You want to spin as much as you can this way, like that, so that it then bounces off that way if you're coming this way. The problem with that is that since the ball, I think because the ball's moving forward that whole time and you're actually hitting it, you don't actually end up getting that side spin. You more get like, it sort of comes over like this and mostly top spin, and it cuts like a little bit, but, and so you actually have to overcompensate for that, I realized. And like Preston mentions this for like 2 seconds in a video, and like it doesn't seem important, but it's actually like the key to the entire thing. You have to, instead of trying to come up and over like this, you have to try and literally wrap around like this. So from this angle, I would look like I'm trying to do that. So if you try and just come over it, it won't work. You have to try and go around, and like it's as if you're trying to spin it this way, but that's not actually how it'll spin because the ball's moving. Because as you're spinning, the ball's like here and then it ends up coming off more like that. So as for how to practice, I would literally start off, like even just hitting against the wall, you don't need the net, but I can show you with the net. I would keep your arm like here, just move your body. Don't try and get like your actual arm muscles involved, because you just want to get the wrist. Without the wrist, nothing will work. So just like that. Like that wasn't a great cut, but that was better. Just to get that wrist snap. And what will happen with your wrist is like as you come around, these 3 fingers will end up sort of closing in and facing that way. You can see like that. And the biggest trap that I got into with this, and that you have to make sure you don't do, is I thought I was getting it. Right, at first it was barely doing anything at all. Like at first, one of the biggest things that happened to me is I would go like this. Like I would throw it to the side, which is actually like a good thing. Like that means you're actually getting around it probably. What you don't want to do is get lazy and then have it roll off this way instead of you coming around it. Because what happens is it'll roll off, like you trying to go like this, but then it'll roll off, and it will have a little bit of spin, and so it'll look like it's cutting more, because it's a lot easier to get spin this way than it is to come around. It's just not the right spin. But since it will have a little bit of side spin / top spin, it will cut more than in the beginning when you try and go around, and you'll think you're getting it. Like I thought I was getting it, but really it was coming off the wrong way. And there's nowhere to go with that. That's kind of like a half bowl, basically. It's like going like that. So you want to film yourself the entire time, or like at least in intervals, to make sure that what you're doing is actually right. Because if you're practicing the wrong thing, it'll be harder to get out of the groove of that, and that happened to me, and it was not easy. So you want to make sure you're, like, as much as you can, bringing that wrist all the way around it. And eventually, like you can see there, like, again, don't use the videos I send, and I can send more if you want, of like me throwing. Like you see, like it ends up actually spinning like this. And don't move on from throwing until you fully like can get it like consistently. Because what happened was I moved on from throwing too early. I went to hitting it, and it fucked the whole thing up. I ended up bowling it. I had to restart so many times. And like when you have it, you know you have it. And if you're questioning at all, you don't have it, and you should probably keep throwing. Yeah, I can send more videos of like how to throw it if you want. Preston's video is good in terms of what it should look like. Yeah, I think that's the cut serve. Oh, and another thing is you can use, like I was at first thought I had it with a bowl. Yeah, I'm coming. Um, I thought I had it with a bowl, and the bowl does sort of cut because it can come off like that, but there's nowhere really to go with that. Like the max cut you can get is like half cut, and you can't disguise that as a reverse. So like you want the same form for the reverse and the regular cut. So I don't recommend the bowl that much.